Hi, I'm Leonie West from Westalee Design, and I'm going to introduce you to our Crosshair Ruler book. We use a Crosshair Ruler to mark reference lines when we're working in 8, 16, 32 rotations or 6, 12, 24 rotations. It makes it possible to create patterns that are spaced evenly and, when completed being sewn, each portion is the correct size. But with a Crosshair Ruler there is so much more that we can do, and that is why I wrote our Crosshair Ruler book. So we'll talk about that and show you some of the different things that we can do with it. I wrote our Crosshair Ruler book to explain and help you learn more about design, how to design a quilting pattern. One of the things we found when we began making rulers for long arm quilters was that not all blocks are created equally. Some people would create an 8-inch block that does measure 8 inches, but if it measures 7 3/4 by 7.5 or 7 3/4 by 8 inches, when you run a diagonal line through the centre of it, you're going to lose the centering position. And the Crosshair Ruler has reference lines on it, which makes it possible to make allowances for that, but still be able to create designs which have the same equal portion of rotation to them. So the Crosshair Ruler gives you that as a starting point to give you a correct rotation measurement, but you can do so much more. Our Crosshair Rulers are 6.5 point and 8 point, and then they will also give you other rotations. We also have a spiral Crosshair Ruler with 8 points and 6 points. In this book I explain that I number my rotation points. On this picture you can see that I'm not working on a centre line. I'm working off that line, but I still have 8 rotations. When I stitch my design, I'm using all those 8 rotation points, and it gives me an 8-point design. We can then take that further and use a Crosshair Ruler to create blocks which are made up of more than one pattern. So here I would have my basis of my starting point to give me a rotating design, and then I can build rotating designs coming from there. So this would be our baseline with our crosshairs drawn in, and this would be our finished design. And we can make that to different sizes because our tools often come in multiple sizes or have other sizes available. In this book I only use a small number of tools to show you what you can do. We can have 6 points, 12 points. We can go here and we've only used 4 points. Here we've used 12. This one's got 32 points, which gives us a much more complex design. I couldn't do this design without using a Crosshair Ruler to give me those reference lines. So once we get over the basics part of it, we can then use it for doing different things. We can create stars, and we can create stars using a straight ruler or a curved ruler. And I use our outer rim tool to give me the measurement points where I want those star lines to finish. So I draw my crosshairs in first and then put a point which is going to tell me where each of these points should end to give me an even pattern. We can use it to create designs that spin like this one. We can use 2 different portions of a template, so I've used it working with the point going inside and outside. Where it becomes interesting is this design here without my reference lines would be very difficult to do, because my reference lines tells me where to stop sewing. These are the different techniques that we do show you in this book. How to take one design and turn it into something else. There's 200 plus designs that we show you in this book, and we really are only using a few templates to create them. Where it becomes really interesting is when we take a crosshair as a basis. Normally our patterns run north, south, east and west, working on line 1. All our points centre and top come from the same place. But here we're stepping it across. So my first point here is on number 16 line, the next one is on 1. So I'm bringing that over and twisting it. And the more I twist it, the more complicated that pattern looks. And when I double it and work it from one direction and the other, we get a really intricate pattern. We don't have to start with the centre point being in the centre. Our centre point can be a circle, which is what we do most of the time, is how we've been teaching. But we want you to know that we can also do it where we're using a diamond. So our diamond can either be drawn in or stitched in. And then we end up with a pattern which is not working on that circular centre. And we can repeat the patterns. This is only a simple pattern using 2 portions of a spinifex. But when I do it from north-south and then turn it east-west, I get a much different looking design. We can take them and create them with a square centre or a diamond centre. We can leave that diamond stitched in. If we draw it in, we wind up with this beautiful zigzag design in the centre of our pattern. And then we can become more elaborate with our designs by, instead of starting in the centre, kicking up the centre point, using the crosshair line to give us our reference lines, but changing our central point. In here, I've worked on 2 central points. So the book is a way of learning more about design and what we can do, and how to get the most out of our crosshair ruler. So I hope you enjoy our crosshair ruler book and learn some new ways to work with rulers and templates.